Children should not be going through stuff like this at all. When there's a proper system in place and communities are divided properly, as they should be, into smaller groups, it makes for a healthier environment for all. When those smaller communities are self-sustainable, growing their own food, they're in a position to take in children that may have lost their parents or whatever the case may be. The environment is healthier, more peaceful, much more family friendly, because the smaller groups, everybody will be getting the attention they need. They will have the space they need, the growth will be overall more healthier. I do not believe we were meant to operate the way that we are operating today. So many people jammed into the same space, forced to live amongst each other. And then this system puts it in their head that they should divide themselves based on materialism. Separate yourselves based on the haves and the have-nots, or by age or gender and all this craziness. That's not how humans are meant to operate. And when the groups are too large, people are not getting their needs met. People are not getting that proper attention. People start developing mental health issues. And the longer that goes on, you end up with results like what this video is showing. People that start abusing children. So if we were running a proper system that works, we wouldn't be having these issues. I'm not saying that children didn't have their share of abuse during the times of where we were more tribal in our operations. But I promise you, they were nowhere near as horrible as what is happening today. I mean, even in the cases where two communities was fighting each other, keep in mind, things were more primitive back then. People were less desensitized to death and violence, because that's all they knew was to fight for what they needed. There wasn't too many other options. Just like with animals. But the reason we are the most successful creatures on this planet is because we have a brain. And at some point, we started relying more on our natural instincts versus relying on our brain, which is the sole reason why we are able to evolve. It don't take being the smartest person in the world to know that our children should not be dealing with this. How is it this system is placing these children in the hands of people? Well, I know how. It's because they simply don't care. They just want to get the children out of their hands because those children cost them money. But the system is supposed to be invested in the children. The system is supposed to be about doing what's best for the children. Majority of what this system takes in from taxes and all that type stuff is supposed to be invested into the next generation. They are the future of this country, but we so divided. Rich people ain't worried about nothing but rich people. Poor people ain't worried about nothing but poor people. Middle class ain't worried about nothing but middle class. Then you go deeper into it, and they have their internal issues where they hate the opposite sex, or they hate this person for this person for that, all type of messiness, man. Clearly, living in large groups is not working. Need to divide into our own individual communities so that children get the proper attention that they need, and they're not subject to situations like this, because this definitely isn't the first time this has happened. It's been happening for way too long, and it's only going to get worse. And I don't hear anybody really talking about this stuff. We got the Diddy trial and all this other extra stuff going on. Kids are being kidnapped. These kids should be the main focus. Doing what we need to be doing to help create a safe environment for these children should be priority number one. I don't see how people can I know how people can just ignore this stuff and not care about this type of stuff. But that's just a reflection of how far we have fallen, to the point where we don't even really care about the children, regardless of race and all this extra shit. Can you imagine? Do you stop and think about the mind, the mental torture this child was going through? And y'all don't think that's something that need to be... And these people ain't getting nothing but 35 years. They should have got life for doing something like this. We're talking about some 35 years. They should have got life for doing something like this. They would do this to a child. There's nothing they won't do. Beating on children is not okay. That's not how you properly raise a child. I know that's what a lot of people have been led to believe. Because broken people are raising broken people. We need to split and divide into smaller groups so that we can start healing and be more useful to the future generation. Be more accommodating to the future generation. This is ridiculous.
Of this case and what happened to this child brought not only the judge but all of the jurors to tears in the courtroom. This is 15-year-old special needs boy Kerrion Franks, and he was adopted by two parents. During the sentencing, the judge said that the things that Kerrion endured at the hands of Jesse and Felicia Franks were the most horrific things that she had heard in all 37 years on the bench. Both he and his little brother were beaten, starved, and locked in a little room with no light for days at a time. Kerrion was beaten so badly that he required medical attention, but instead they just stuck him back in that room with no lights and left him there for a week where he starved to literal death. After hearing the graphic details and the reports of the abuse that Kerrion had endured, one of the jurors said that they were unable to sleep because of nightmares. The judge then sentenced Jesse Franks to 30 years in prison and Felicia Adams Franks to 35 years in prison, as it appeared that she was the one who was actually running the household. May they rot like they deserve. The details of this case and what happened to this child brought